In today's video, we're diving into the world of web development and exploring a powerful tool called the Intersection Observer. This API allows you to track the visibility of elements on a web page and take action based on that visibility. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned developer, you won't want to miss this tutorial. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. This HTML file creates a web page with a title Intersection Observer, and it has a structure of an HTML document with head and body. In the head there is a meta tag that sets the viewport to the device width and an initial scale of 1. It also links a CSS file, style.css, the Tailwind CSS CDN, and a JavaScript file, script.js, in the head. In the body of the HTML document, there is a main container with a class, container mxAutoMaxWXL, which centers the content on the page and sets a maximum width. Inside the main container, there are 4 sections, each with a unique class name, which styles each section with a background color, text color, padding, and rounded edges. Each section also includes a title and 2 paragraphs of placeholder text. The JavaScript file, script.js, is loaded asynchronously, which means that the script will not block the page from rendering and the user will be able to interact with the page while the script is loading. Here we are styling the section to take the form of a card. Let's increase the font size of the title. Give the paragraph tags a little style to adhere. Now we can copy and paste the same section another 3 times so that we have 4 cards in total. We should change the background color for each card so we can differentiate them. Let us move on to our style.css and add some classes. First, add a simple reset. Then we can change the styling of the sections to their start state, which will be initially show. Create an active class that will contain the animation transition en, final state of our section. We will also add an inactive class that will contain our fade-out animation. Please code along while I'll explain what the script does. This code is using the Intersection Observer API to track when elements, in this case, sections, come into or out of view on the user's screen. First, it selects all elements on the page with the section tag and assigns them to the variable sections. Next, it defines a function called handleIntersection, which will be called by the Intersection Observer when it detects a change in the visibility of the sections. This function takes in 2 arguments, entries, an array of the elements being observed, and observer, the Intersection Observer instance. The function then uses the forEach method to iterate through the entries array, and for each entry, checks if the entry is currently intersecting with the viewport using the isIntersecting property. If it is, the active class is added to the entry's target element. If it is not, the inactive class is added to the entry's target element, and then after a 250 milliseconds delay, both the active and inactive classes are removed. Finally, the code creates a new instance of the Intersection Observer and assigns it to the variable observer. It then sets the options for the observer. Root is set to null, so the viewport is used as the reference for intersection, and threshold is set to 0.5. Meaning that when at least 50% of the element is visible, it will be considered intersecting. It then uses the forEach method to iterate through the sections variable and calls the observe method on the observer for each section, which sets up the observer to track the visibility of the section. As you can see, the code uses the Intersection Observer API to detect when elements on the page come into or out of view on the user's screen. The Intersection Observer API is a new way to track the visibility of elements on the page and is more efficient than using a scroll event listener. With the scroll event listener, the JavaScript code would need to constantly run to check the position of elements on the page and compare it to the viewport. This can be taxing on the browser and can lead to performance issues, especially on sites with a lot of elements or heavy JavaScript code. The Intersection Observer API, on the other hand, works by using the browser's native event loop and only runs the JavaScript code when the visibility of the elements change. This makes it a much more efficient and performant method for tracking element visibility. Thanks for watching.